Hello guys, it's been a while since I made a good video, so I decided to make this review. Yes, what I'm doing now, get used to it. The game I'm reviewing is a newer game. It actually released April 3rd this year. Can you guess what it is? Resident Evil 3, the remake. This is a remake of the third installment in the infamous survival horror series, Resident Evil, or Biohazard in Japan. And might I say that Biohazard is a much more fitting name because the final bosses of the games are some biomonster or biohazard, if you will. And I just don't get it. So tell me in the comments why Biohazard is called Resident Evil. This game uses the RE engine first used in the Resident Evil 2 remake. The story is simple. Raccoon City is in the start of a zombie outbreak from the T-virus. Sounds similar to another virus outbreak that's happening recently. Jill Valentine, a former member of the Special Tactics and Rescue Service, STARS for short, made by the Raccoon City Police Department, the RPD, has to find her way out of Raccoon City while being chased by Nemesis, a biomonster created by Umbrella to kill all remaining members of STARS because of the mentioned incident, the events of Resident Evil 1. If I didn't make this clear, Resident Evil 3, which I'm now calling RE3 for time's sake, it's not the type of game you can play out of context. You will need to know the plot of RE1 to understand RE3. Even though RE3 takes place around the same time of RE2, you do not need to play RE2 to understand RE3. But I do recommend you playing it because of RE2's main character, Leon F. Kennedy, and he's in the plot of the future games. Well, he's only in RE4 and RE6. The second main character in RE3 is Carlos
Oliveira.
Is a member of the Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service, UBCS. He was sent to Raccoon City to look for survivors and get them out of the city. That's enough about story. Next we'll talk about the gameplay. RE3 is a third-person survival horror game. But what is survival horror? Well, different from, say, Little Nightmares or Five Nights at Freddy's. Those games are just straight horror. Survival horror games is finding resources to help survive. You don't have infinite resources. You have to save up ammo and healing items. So it's better for you to run past most enemies to save up health and items and stuff like that. The new mechanic is dodging. It's straightforward. You can dodge attacks. If you do it at the right time, you can perform a perfect dodge. Once you perform it, time will slow down, giving you time to attack without delay. I think it's a great addition, because in RE2, I would just keep getting hit and get attacked all the time, but this is a great way to dodge enemies. Speaking of enemies, you will encounter a lot more than just basic zombies. The first type is what I call basic zombies, ironically enough. They're slow and will try to attack you, but they're easy to dodge. Not really much of a threat. Next are zombie dogs. They rarely show up in the game once the end of the game, once the beginning. They're fast and hard to hit, but weak. But very weak actually. They only shoot like 2 pistol bullets to put down. Get it? Next subject, the bosses. There aren't a lot. They're pretty much just normal fights, but will take a lot more health. Anyway, all the boss fights are Nemesis, and she will not die off. He's so difficult that you probably need to knife him to death. Well, since there's only 4 boss fights, yeah, 4. What a game, right? Speaking of that, this game's kind of short. To get an S rank, all you need to do is beat the game in like 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's not that hard. Anyway, there's like 4 bosses, and so I should say my thoughts on them. The first fight with Nemesis is actually pretty cool. You're on a burning construction site. It looks cool, and it's definitely the most unique boss fight of them all. Second fight with Nemesis isn't difficult, and not much else. It's just okay, really. I mean, they always say a lot about it, but not really. It's just tougher. It's kind of boring, to be honest with you. It just takes a while. Third fight is actually probably the second easiest. It kind of just keeps going downhill, as I was saying. You think it will go up, difficulty will go up, but not really. It just kind of goes down. It's kind of disappointing, because the third fight is it's just the second fight, but you have better equipment, so it's really not that much of a challenge. The fourth fight is no, it's not a fight. It's not a. It's more of a cinematic battle. You're not really challenging. Not really that challenging to do because you're not really doing much. You're just like pressing a button, and then you're just waiting for him to die, pretty much. You're not doing much. Very, very easy. And for the final boss, I kind of wanted it to be tough. But not really. So overall, kind of disappointing, to be honest with you. What else? Well, what are you gonna fight these bosses with? Your bare hands? Ha ha ha! What a crazy, unique joke! I bet everybody at home is dying from laughter. Oh, so funny. This game, you're going to get miniguns to use. The first one you get is a pistol, which is used for basic damage. It's not that much, but it's good enough. Next is shotguns, which is, even though it has a low ammo count, it still is used for damage dealers, or something like that. The knife is really just used for when you don't have ammo. And there's many more, but I don't feel like talking about this. This video is already longer than my normal ones. Anyway. In conclusion, Resident Evil 3 is a great game that I recommend you all playing. I wasn't able to say everything I wanted to talk about in the video. I definitely have more to say about the game. So if you guys want to see that, or if this gets enough, like, views or the comments or more interest in it, then I'll probably make a part 2. That's all, and have a great time of recording this night. Probably I'll release this in the morning.